So today I am going to take a sutta which is about the offerings. So Majjhima Nikāya 142, Dakkhiṇāvibhaṅga Sutta, the exposition of the offerings. So this is very important because it clarifies a few concepts which are there, which is there in for dāna or generosity in general in the society. But there are certain concepts the Buddha is kind of giving very much clarity on. So let us go through this teaching, which is very important in my because when I was a lay person and I came to Buddha's teaching, for a long time I did not know about generosity and how it can be, we can think about those things. But when I actually went through this sutta, it was very clarifying for me also, that how it clarified for me how this things worked. So that is a very important thing. Thus have I heard. On one occasion, the Blessed One was living in Sakyan country at Kapilavastu in Nigordha's park. Then Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī took a new pair of clothes, went to the Blessed One. After paying homage to him, she sat down at one side and said to the Blessed One, Venerable Sir, this new pair of clothes has been spun by me, woven by me, especially for the Blessed One. Venerable Sir, let the Blessed One accept it from me out of compassion. So she goes to the Buddha with a cloth which is she herself has made. So this is also a tradition now which is kind of being revived in I think when I was there about 10 years back in Thailand. So they used to kind of make the robes with hand. So this robes which I have is stitched through a machine. So I'll just share the sutta also. I'm sharing the sutta's text so everybody can follow with me. So now it gives a kind of a understanding that the robe was spun. Spun meaning that the whole process of making the cloth was done by Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī. So, but it could also have been that it has been woven in the sense that it was stitched together by hand. So this is a tradition which is now currently happening in Thailand, where a lot of people have started doing that. And now it has kind of become like a tradition. When this was said, the Blessed One told her, give it to the Sangha, Gotamī. When you give it to the Sangha, the offering will be made both to me and to the Sangha. A second time and a third time, she said to the Blessed One, Venerable Sir, accept it from me out of compassion. A second time and a third time, the Buddha told her, give it to the Sangha, Gotamī. When you give it to the Sangha, the offering will be made to me, both to me and to the Sangha. So now Buddha is refusing to accept the cloth. And it is a kind of an interesting thing because Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī was her aunt. And also they call it nurse or wet nurse. After her mother passed away, her aunt took care of him and raised him. So it was a little strange that he would not accept it as a direct gift to him, but he said to give it to the Sangha. So now one other interesting thing which has not been mentioned over here is that when you are giving it to the Sangha, then the first right would be to the senior most in the Sangha, which is there. Say there are 4 monks over there. So I think there is a quorum is there, I think of 4 or 5 monks, which is there as per Vinaya. So if there are 4 monks, then it is considered a Sangha, and technically that is there. But over here you see that there is even if one single person is there, they can be offered as a Sangha. So as per Vinaya, it is different, but over here it is very clearly mentioned that you can give it to a single person also. And that is also an interesting point we'll take. So the senior most will get the first kind of a chance to accept that, and then it goes to the second most senior, then the third most senior, then the junior most. So that is how all offerings are distributed in the Sangha. Then the Venerable Ananda said to the Blessed One, Venerable Sir, let the Blessed One accept the new pair of clothes from Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī. Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī has been very helpful to the Blessed One, Venerable Sir, as his mother's sister. So Buddha's mother's sister, she was his nurse, his foster mother, the one who gave him milk. She looked after the Blessed One when his own mother died. The Blessed One too had been very helpful to Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī, Venerable Sir. It is owing to the Blessed One that Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī has gone for refuge to the Buddha, the Dhamma and the Sangha. It is owing to the Blessed One that Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī abstains from killing living beings, from taking what is not given, from misconduct in sexual pleasures, from false speech, and from wine, liquor, and intoxicants, which are the basis of negligence. It is owing to the Blessed One that Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī possesses perfect confidence in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, and that she possesses the virtues loved by the Noble One. It is owing to the Blessed One that Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī is free from doubt, from suffering, about the origin of suffering, about the cessation of suffering, about the way leading to the cessation of suffering. The Blessed One has been very helpful to the Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī. So, over here, he is kind of pointing out all the things which was benefited by Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī, but they are all also an indication of a Sotapanna also. So, having perfect Shila or the precepts, keeping the precepts which is there, then having the confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, then having no doubt in the Four Noble Truths. So, there is it is also giving an indication that she is at least a Sotapanna or a Sakdagami. Over here, from this description, we can say that she is at least a person who has attained one of the path of awakening. So that is also a benefit which she has attained. That is so, Ananda, that is so. When one person owing to another has gone for refuge to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha, I say that it is not easy for the former to repay the latter by paying homage to him, raising up to him for him, according him reverential salutation and polite services, and by providing robes, alms, food, resting places, and medicinal requisites. So, if for an example, a monk or a Kalyanamitta inspires you to go for refuge to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, then it is such a great merit and such a kind of a great service to you that you cannot easily repay that person. So that is what the Buddha is saying, that by kind of being very kind to that person, being very reverential to the person, showing respect and also supporting that person. Still, it is not possible to repay that person because it has such a great merit. When one person owing to another has come to abstain from killing living beings, from taking what is not given, from misconduct in sensual pleasure, from false speech, from wine, liquor, and intoxicant, which are the basis of negligence, I say that it is not easy for the former to repay the latter by paying homage to him, rising up for him, according him reverential salutation, polite services, by providing robes, alms, food, resting places, and medical requisites. So if somebody inspires somebody else to follow the precepts, then also that is a very great service to that person. When one person owing to another has come to possess perfect confidence in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, and to possess the virtues loved by the noble ones, I say that it is not easy for the former to repay the later by paying homage to him, rising up for him, according reverential salutation, polite services, and by providing robes, alms, food, resting places, and medicinal requisites. When one person owing to another has become free from doubt, from suffering, about origin of suffering, about the cessation of suffering, and about the way leading to the cessation of suffering, I say that it is not easy for the former to repay the latter by paying homage to him, rising up for him, according him reverential salutation, polite services, and providing robes, alms, food, resting places, and medical requisites. So what this last thing is also an indication of a Sotapanna who is free of doubt. A Sotapanna keeps his precepts. A Sotapanna will also have confidence in the Buddha's Dhamma and Sangha. So there is indications that the person which are there who has this confidence has gained some kind of awakened steps. There are 14 kinds of personal offerings, Ananda. One gives a gift to the Tathagata, the accomplished and fully awakened. That is the first kind of personal offering. One gives a gift to a paccekabuddha. This is the second kind of personal offering. One gives a gift to an arahant, disciple of the Buddha or the Tathagata. That is the third kind of personal offering. One gives a gift to one who has entered upon the way to the realization of the fruit of arahantship. That is the fourth kind of personal offering. So this is very easy. One who has entered into the path of arahantship. Then one who has attained non-returner or the path of non-returner. Or one who is Sakdagami or the path of Sakdagami. One who has Sotapanna or the path of Sotapanna. So those are the stream enterer. That one gives a gift to a stream enterer. That is the ninth kind. One who realized the entry of the stream enterer. So that is the 10th kind. One gives a gift to one outside the dispensation who is free from lust for sensual pleasure. This is the 11th kind of personal offering. So this is a person who is not a follower of the Buddha, but owing to the personal practices, certain people are doing one-pointedness, certain person do some other practices which are following the sila, and they try to perfect the sila, and owing to that they become free of lust for sensual pleasures. So that person is also considered just below a Sotapanna who has entered the path. So one of the interesting things which comes to mind is that the Bahya Sutta, where the person is keeping the precepts very well. He has concentration very good, but he does not have wisdom still. So when he comes to know from one of the devas who is his relative that he is still not awakened, but there is a path which is there because there is a Buddha who can give the seed of wisdom to him. So he goes to the Buddha, and it does not take him long. Just a few sentences the Buddha gives the teaching, and based on that teaching, he becomes a I think he becomes a anagami or a arahant. So this person did not take a long to kind of gain that because he had other things he had mastered already. So this is also something which is acknowledged, that there are people outside of the Buddha's teaching who may have given sensual kind of the pleasures, but they still may not have given up the root causes of it. That means that the wisdom has not been developed. So in the future, those may again finding ground. Those seeds may again find fruition. But there can be people who are of good practice. One gives a gift to a virtuous ordinary person. That is the 12th kind of personal offering. One gives a gift to an immoral ordinary person. That's the 13th kind of personal offering. One gives a gift to an animal. This is the 14th kind of personal offering. So these are the different kinds of personal offering, which are the 14 kinds of personal offerings which can be given. So it is from an animal for an ordinary person who is immoral, an ordinary person who is moral, and an ordinary person who has given up the sensual pleasures. And then the 8 kinds of noble ones. Then there is paccekabuddha, arahant is there, the paccekabuddha, then the Buddha himself. Here in Ananda, by giving a gift to an animal, the offering may be expected to repay 100-fold. So the Buddha is saying how much. So it means that the gift which you are giving has different results through what you are, the person you are giving. So the person, if you are just giving it to an animal, it is 100-fold. By giving a gift to an immoral, ordinary person, the offering may be expected to repay 1,000-fold. By giving a gift to a virtuous, ordinary person, the offering may be expected to repay a 100,000-fold. So just keeping virtue, an ordinary person who is just keeping precepts, even if you give to gift, it is 100,000 times you get the rewards. By giving a gift to one outside the dispensation, who is free from lust for sensual pleasures, the offering may be expected to repay 100,000 times into 100,000 times. That is a 10 billion times. So if you give to somebody something, you can expect a lot in return from them. So that is something for only a person who is outside the dispensation, but who has given up the lust. Then the Buddha is going on and saying, by giving a gift to one who has entered upon the way to the realization of fruit of stream entry, the offering may be expected to repay incalculably, immeasurably. What then should be said about giving a gift to a stream enterer? Giving a gift to a Sakdagami of path, Sakdagami fruition. Then Anagami of path, Anagami fruition, Arahant path, Arahant fruition. Then there is paccekabuddhas, then there is Buddha. So they are, even if the path enterer of Sotapanna is incalculable, immeasurable, then how much it is immeasurable in all the cases in the subsequent. But it will be larger, as we see, it will be larger. So one way, one of the monks have explained to me is that, in one of his talks, I came to know is, which is very important. It is like the lake which is there. Lake, the water which is there is immeasurable. You cannot say how many drops of water there is there in the lake. But then there will be a sea is there. So lake, maybe smaller lake, and there will be a medium-sized lake, and there is a bigger-sized lake, and then there is a sea. Now in the sea also, it is unmeasurable amount of water. The droplets of water, how many droplets of water there is unmeasurable, but it is more progressively. For a small lake, it will be a smaller amount of immeasurable. For a medium-sized lake, it will be also a little bit larger amount of immeasurable. If you go a little further, then you go to the oceans. So ocean also, it's a bigger water, but then that will also be immeasurable. So in that sense that as you give to a person who is more accomplished, you get more in that. What should be said about giving a gift to a Tathagata, accomplished and fully enlightened? These are the 7 kinds of offering made to the Sangha. So now the Buddha is introducing the Sangha. So he says that these are the 14 kinds of gifts. Now there is a 15 actually a kind of gift also to the Sangha. And in the Sangha also there are 7 categories. One gives a gift to a Sangha for both bhikkhus and bhikkhunis, headed by the Buddha. This is the first kind of offering made to the Sangha. One gives a gift to a Sangha of both bhikkhus and bhikkhunis for the Tathagata after the Tathagata has attained final Nibbana. This is the second kind of offering made to the Sangha. One gives a gift to a Sangha of bhikkhus. This is the third kind of offering made to the Sangha. One gives a gift to the Sangha of bhikkhunis. This is the fourth kind of offering made to the Sangha. One gives a gift saying, appoint so many bhikkhus and bhikkhunis for me, for the Sangha. This is the fifth kind of offering made to the Sangha. One gives a gift saying, appoint so many bhikkhus for me, for the Sangha. This is the sixth kind of offering made to the Sangha. One gives a gift of saying, appoint so many bhikkhunis for me, for the Sangha. This is the seventh kind of offering made to the Sangha. So in the Sangha also there are many kinds of offerings to the Sangha which is given. So one of those things which are happening very much frequently currently would be that they would appoint a number of bhikkhus or bhikkhunis. They will say that we want 10 bhikkhus to come. So it is up to the abbot to kind of select the 10 bhikkhus and to send them. So that is also one of those rules which are there for the Vinaya regarding those things. So they can be select number of Sangha can also be asked to come to the offering. In future times, Ananda, there will be members of a clan who are yellownecks, immoral, of evil character. People will give gifts to those immoral persons for the sake of the Sangha. Even then, I say, an offering made to the Sangha is incalculable, immeasurable. And I say that in no way does a gift to a person individually ever have greater fruit than offering made to the Sangha. The Buddha is saying that at one point of time, there may be people who may be working in the fields, just wear yellow scarf. Okay, they wear a yellow scarf and they call themselves monk, but they have family and kids and they do farming. And they will be accepting gifts on behalf of the Sangha. So that person who gives the gift with a good mind, with a clear mind, as if they are giving it to the Sangha and gives it to that person, still gets the benefit more than giving to the Buddha in person. So that is the importance of giving to the Sangha. That's the reason Bhante Vimalramsi would always say, whenever you are giving, give with a mind of giving to the Sangha. Even if you are giving to me, give with a mind of giving to the Sangha, and always kind of have that as a Sangha dāna, because that has more merits than even giving to a Buddha who is alive. So that is the reason, that is the importance of that gift. That's the reason he did not accept the robes from Mahāpajāpatī Gotamī, and he said, give it to the Sangha. So because he wanted her to gain more merit than what she could have gained through giving to the Buddha himself. So that's the reason he asked to do that. There are 4 kinds of purifications of offering. What pure? So now the Buddha is giving about, told about what are the different kinds of individuals, 14 kinds of individuals you can give to the dāna or gift. And then there is a Sangha, which is 15. Now he is giving how does this become fruition, or how does it get purified. So that is an important aspect. How to give the dāna is also very important. So one of the suttas, the Buddha is saying that you give a dāna, before giving the dāna, your mind should be happy. While giving the dāna, your mind should be happy. And after giving the dāna, your mind should be happy. Whenever you think back, you should be happy about that. So that is how you give dāna. So one of the important, one of the suttas which is there about that is that somebody gives a dāna to a paccekabuddha. And then after that, she thinks, oh, maybe I should not have given that dāna. I should have given that extra food to my laborers. Because of the act of giving the dāna, he was born, I think, 12 times or 14 times the richest person in the kingdom. But because he had a thought of taking it back, but after that, all the 14 lifetimes when he was born as the richest person in the kingdom, he did not get to give it to his sons because he was born without sons. And it was all the money went back to the king. Because at the time of the Buddha, the king would take over in estate, I think it is called, in estate, where the person does not have a heir. Then that reverts back to the king. So it 14 times it went back, or 12 times, I don't remember the numbers. So that is the importance of having a happy mind before, during and after the process of dāna. So now what the how the four kinds of purification of offering is happening. There is the offering that is purified by the giver, not by the receiver. Okay. There is an offering that is purified by the receiver, not by the giver. So the paccekabuddha example I gave you, that was purified by the receiver. Because the receiver was a paccekabuddha. That's the reason it was so, because it was just one meal he had given. And that one meal resulted in him being born the richest person in the kingdom. So I kind of sometimes just think and guess maybe these richest people who are there, they don't seem very smart, you know. Elon Musk does not seem to be very smart, or nor does Bill Gates seem to be very smart, you know. They're intelligent, but they don't deserve $100 billion or $200 million, which they kind of have. So maybe there's some kind of good karma they must have done in the past. There is an offering that is purified neither by the giver nor by the receiver. So over here, what is happening? This is not getting purified by anybody. There is an offering that is purified by both the giver and the receiver. So the giver is also giving with a good mind, and the receiver is also receiving with a good mind. And what is the offering that is purified by the giver, not by the receiver? Here the giver is virtuous, of good character, and the receiver is immoral, of evil character. Thus, the offering is purified by the giver, not by the receiver. And what is the offering that is purified by the receiver, not by the giver? Here, the giver is immoral, of evil character, and the receiver is virtuous, of good character. Thus, the offering is purified by the receiver, not by the giver. And what is the offering that is purified neither by the giver nor the receiver? Here the giver is immoral, of evil character, and the receiver is immoral, of evil character. Thus the offering is purified neither by the giver nor by the receiver. And what is the offering that is purified? One of the things which comes to mind is a thief giving to another thief something, you know. So then that does not, because the things which are acquired also was immoral, and when they are getting also, they are not enjoying that fruits of immorality. So that could be one of those examples which just come to my mind. And what is the offering that is purified by both the giver and by the receiver? Here the giver is virtuous, of good character, and the receiver is virtuous, of good character. Thus the offering is purified by both the giver and by the receiver. These are the four kinds of purification of offering. This is what the Blessed One said. When the Sublime One had said that, the teacher said further, when a virtuous person to an immoral person gives, with trusting heart, a gift rightly obtained, righteously obtained, place faith that the fruit of action is great. The giver's virtue purifies the offering. When an immoral person to a virtuous person gives with an untrusting heart, a gift unrighteously obtained, nor places faith that the fruit of action is great, the receiver's virtue purifies the offering. When an immoral person to an immoral person gives with untrusting heart, a gift unrighteously obtained, nor places faith that the fruit of action is great, neither's virtue purifies the offering. When a virtuous person to a virtuous person gives with a trusting heart, a gift righteously obtained, placing faith that the fruit of action is great, that gift, I say, will come to full fruition. When a passionless person to a passionless person gives with a trusting heart, a gift righteously obtained, placing faith that the fruit of action is great, that gift, I say, is the best of worldly gifts. So now the Buddha is also talking about a passionless person, which is considered to be an arahant. So when an arahant gives to another arahant, then there is no merits over there, because the arahant does not need merits, and the receiver does not need merits, you know. So then that is not considered to be a meritorious action, because arahant is giving a gift to an arahant. So that is a person which is a passionless person who is giving a passionless person. So that is the best of the worldly gifts, but it is considered to be the best gift. even though there are no merits involved in that transaction. So that is what the Buddha said. And this is a sutta which has a lot of clarifying points for me in that sense. It clarifies that there are different kinds of people. There are categories of people who are more in that sense in a hierarchy, more deserving of the gift. And then the highest deserving is the Sangha. The other part is that where you give has certain kind of returns. If you give to animal also, the Buddha, one of the sutras, the Buddha is saying that when you are throwing away your food, still you have to throw away with the mind saying that whatever animal or being are there, may they enjoy this food. Even if you are throwing in the ground, just say that whatever animal is there, or you're throwing it in a dustbin. Then throw with a mind which is saying that whatever animal or beings like bacteria is there, worms are there, will consume this thing, So may they, so give it as a dāna. So don't waste even an opportunity of throwing something. When you're throwing also, just throw with the mind of saying that I'm giving it for the animals, So all of that is there. So it is any action you do, it can be of with the dāna, So like smiling for others can also be a dāna. Having a mind of loving kindness, of a mind of compassion, which is there, mind of joy for others, having equanimity with others. They may be upset or something, but you kind of deal with them with equanimity. So those kind of actions which are there, that means that our interactions with all the people which are there is wholesome. And that will also give merits. So one of the suttas the Buddha is talking about that when you are thinking ill will about others, when you are thinking cruel thoughts about others, it is like as if you are picked up and dropped in hell. You will be going to hell. So that is the amount of harm we can cause ourselves by thinking all that negative thoughts. So whenever that is there, what you the Bhante says is you have to be always aware where your mind's attention is moving, and you have to siksar them. Have your mind on metta, karuna, mudita, upekha, and thus that the Buddha says that if you have a mind of loving kindness, it is as if you are picked up from here and dropped in heaven. In that same way, you will be guaranteed to be going to heaven. But that is just the mind of loving kindness. But if you are practicing with the understanding of the Buddha, which is of impermanence, of dukkha, of the impersonality, then what happens is anicca, dukkha, anatta, that concept of that impermanence which is there, is developed from that practice. Then it gives you a higher reward, which is the reward of stream entry, the reward of Sagdagami, once returner, reward of non-returner. That is the reward you can gain. So always have a mind of generosity. So even if you're smiling to somebody, I tell this story many times. So I'll tell it once again. Was this I read in Reader's Digest. So there was a person who was going to suicide, and he was going to jump from a bridge. And on the way, somebody smiled at him. And just the smile which he automatically did, by reflex, somebody smiles at you, you smile back. And he was smiling, and that smile changed his mind state. Then he said he had doubts about killing himself. Maybe the world is not so bad, and then he did not, and he became a successful person in life. So just a smile can save somebody's life. So just knowing that somebody cared, somebody was nice to him, changed his mindset. So that is generosity. So just being in the space of generosity all the time and continuing with that mind state is what the Buddha is talking about. And whenever you are giving to a monk or to a person from the Sangha, then give it as a gift to the Sangha. And it has a lot of clarifying points for me in that sense. So, any questions regarding this, Sutta? or anything else also? Anybody has any question?
Reverend,
Yeah.
could you please check whether my understanding is correct?
Yes.
I know we are talking about generosity and dāna in this sutta. And that's fair enough. I understand it. You very clearly explained it. Thank you very much. Am I right in understanding the highest merit that I, as a human being, in this lifetime, that I can gain is to practice this twin method, practice the 6R method, and keep the precepts and experience the jhanas and archanas and samadhi states and cessation of perception, feeling, and consciousness.
There is merit is in the context of dāna. What the sutta is talking about is merit in the context of giving, of dāna, in terms of generosity. Definitely, there is more than merits in the practice. So while there is a space where the Mara comes to the Buddha and says that, oh, why don't you do all these good things? You can become a world-conquering king and become a lot of people you can benefit, and you can earn a lot of merit. The Buddha says that I don't need any merits. So there is a point where when you are practicing, it is beyond merits. You are not practicing for merits because you are not wanting anything return, because merits will give you whatever is worldly. Okay. So at one point of time, the merits will exceed the worldly, and then you get in terms of the wisdom or the opportunity to practice. So practice goes beyond merits. So when you are practicing, you may become a sotapanna. So that sotapanna, gaining a sotapanna is much more than the whole of the gold available in the world. The Buddha says that if there is an Everest mountain, say, full of gold, so it is less valuable than a teaching of the Buddha. Okay, so that means that concept of merit is in the reference of giving or generosity, but in the context of practice, it is not of merits. It is about wisdom, which goes beyond the samsara, and which takes you away from the cycle of merit and demerit. So the Buddha is giving the practice in the sense as a higher goal. So there is dāna, sila, bhavana. So in the dāna, there are merits. Sila, you are keeping your balance, equilibrium. That will give you a platform to gain bhavana, which is the practice which you are doing. So practice is the highest what you are doing. So practice goes beyond merit. Does that
Yes,
help?
thank you very much. Yes, brilliantly explained. Thank you very much indeed, Reverend.
Anything else? May, you had anything?
Bhante, I had one question. So in the earlier part of this sutta, it's mentioned that it's difficult to repay someone who, let's say, brought us to take refuge in the triple gem or follow the precepts. What if that person's sila is questionable based on our observation? Does that make a difference? So
It does not make a difference. That thing, because see, the person, his sila, he will kind of reap the rewards based on the actions which he or they are doing. Okay, so they will be reaping their actions or the rewards based on their actions. That is the sila which they keep. But for action which they did, which as a Kalyana Mitta, they brought you to say something which is wholesome. So for that, it's a good action. That good action also has good merits. So that merits the person will gain. But the demerits also, they will have to deal with it. But the Buddha is saying in that sense that a person does mixed karma. So some of the karma is good, some of the karma is bad. So then he'll get mixed results.
Okay.
So one example Buddha is that you have a very good generosity. Okay, but you don't keep the precepts. So because you did not have the precepts, you are born in, say, animal world. But because of generosity, what would happen is you will become a pet, or you are born in a royal family, or like a royal pet, you know. So you are animal, but you are gaining that benefit of this thing. So there are over here there are a few of the pets I kind of take care of, and I think maybe they may not be, but I take care of them very good. You know, I give them chewy foods and all this dog food and cat food and all that thing. So then that is something may be happening. You know, so but for you, it is pertinent for you to be grateful for them for the action they have done, not overall, because karma will take care of that. From your end, you have to get grateful for them, and whatever you can repay in a very manner, that would be the highest repayment. Like even for a son, it is not possible to repay their, or a son or a daughter is not possible to repay their parents. But the only way to repay them is to bring them to the Sangha or the Dhamma. Okay? So when they bring them to the correct Dhamma, that is the only time they repay. And that's the reason there is a lot of emphasis on that, you know, so showing the path. So if it is possible for you to show them the path again, kind of bring them to the good Dhamma, that would be the greatest way to repay.
That one is a separate discussion. But apart from that one, because you know family members is a lot of, it's an intricacy of web and everything. It's part of the reason why we don't start with family members when we first start with the practice. But coming back to it is not easy to repay someone. Let's say not even parents, you know, just somebody, right? Maybe it is my ego that comes into play. But when let's say I think of that person, then because I know their history or their background or some practices that they do that I feel are not beneficial, and especially if they do hold some influence in society. As I said, maybe it's my ego at play, but I find difficulty even trying to have some amount of, I mean, I am grateful, but that gratitude I can feel is not completely genuine coming from the heart. It's almost like tainted in the sense, if this makes sense.
So the Buddha is giving one gradation. The Buddha says that first you have to have a mind of metta towards that person. Okay? If that mind of metta is not happening, then have mind of compassion. That whatever their situation is there, whatever they learned and understood, in that way they are in that sense. They are. Then you can have the mind of equanimity towards them. Be equanimous. Then the fifth, the Buddha is saying, then you have to also think about the karma, you know, that the person is owner of their karma, the heir to the karma. Whatever karma, good or bad, they have done, they will reap their rewards. So that is how the Buddha is giving this gradation that if you are having such a mind or with this person, then you have that. And Bhante would say that do forgiveness for whatever actions they are doing. Do the forgiveness and forgive them for not understanding, forgive them for not being in line with the reality and being in forgiveness.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you, Bhante. I have one other question separate from today's sutta. This question actually came from one of my students the other day. Remember, Bhante, when we were attending talks with Bhante Vimalaramsi, if Bhante Vimalaramsi noticed anyone crossing, their hands like this, or, then Bhante will immediately, catch us out and say, don't do that when you're listening to a talk or listening to a teacher. And I think Bhante Vimalaramsi said it was something that the Buddha mentioned. Of course, because I teach music, I don't reference the suttas, but when I was teaching the other day to my student who is a Christian, possibly Catholic, the child, was first of all, her posture. Nowadays, a lot of kids tend to hunch. I don't know why. I have to keep reminding them to keep their back straight. But also the hunching and the legs start to like this. And then so I said, unfold your arms and legs and keep your back straight because it's not helpful for you. And then she asked me, well, why is that? And of course, she asked from a curious mindset, not from a defiant mindset. And I couldn't figure out the answer. Do you remember, Bhante, more details about that?
Bhante says that when you are kind of putting the hands like this,
Yeah,
you are closing your
yeah.
heart. That means that you are going into yourself rather than being outside. So, like when you are like this, then you are kind of putting your attention inside rather than keeping your attention outside. So, when you are listening to somebody and you kind of keep your arms uncrossed and legs uncrossed, then you are open to gaining information.
Yeah. Okay.
It is easier for the person to absorb what is being taught. And thus, so I am not that strict certain times. But he was very much interested in kind of making sure everybody, last one of them, kind of understood what he was teaching.
Correct. I know Bhante Vimalaramsi was very, very strong-minded about that for good reason. Then the other thing with the posture, correct me if I'm wrong, is it because our spine is connected to our brain? Is that in relation to that? Having a good but relaxed back.
I'm not sure about that, but yeah, that helps in that sense that it is about attention. It's about attention when you are in a comfortable position and you are sitting with your arms open. And this has been kind of quite a bit of research also, which has been done. No crossing of the legs either.
No crossing of legs. Correct.
We discussed.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, so Bhante, there has been some research. Yeah. Maybe I will go and search for some of the research around the posture and the thing from a scientific perspective, because then I can explain to these kids. A lot of these kids are, well, not a lot. Some of them are just curious, and then one or two, actually one girl. Bhante, we talk about the 5 hindrances. Her biggest hindrance is doubt. Initially, I thought it was curiosity where her questions were coming from. But after a while, I figured doubt is her biggest. She's smart. She's fairly attentive. She takes notes. But I keep asking myself why her progress is slow compared to, some less smart, less, kids who are less smart but progress much quicker, Then I'm like, her overthinking, overanalyzing, who was it? Was it Venerable Sister Kema who said like what's the word? Oh, analysis paralysis cycle. The poor girl is 12 years old, but is already that habit, that analysis paralysis and doubt habit is already a little bit, there. So I'm trying to help her overcome that. I suggested to her maybe she can talk to, another girl, my student, but 14 years old, who, the girl who's 14 years old, she's actually not, I would, it's wrong to say she's not intelligent. She is intelligent, but she's not like, a few years ago, she's not like top of her class or nothing like that. But her good values is she listens, she's very attentive, she takes notes, she follows instruction. So she doesn't have the doubt as a hindrance. She doesn't, this analysis paralysis, she doesn't, no? So she's, even her curiosity not that great, but she really follow instruction, and she, and because of that, just within few years, even though she's not, Bante, I share like a compressed kids version, I call it, of 6 hours when I'm teaching music. Even though she's not religiously practicing that, but now she's doing well in school. She's not stressed out. Yesterday, she told me one of her school friend, for various reasons, now has stopped attending school and has to go for counseling, psychologist, therapy, etc., etc. And she's saying she's, supporting her friend and things like that. And even though she has so many activities, she's not like stressed out like most children are. So after I witnessed all these different, not a lot of children, but just a few, it really make me realize it's nothing to do with whether one is smarter or one is less smart, or one comes from better family background or richer or poorer, or it's not really have anything to do with that, really.
Correct. So one of the things I just remembered was that there is a TED talk where they mentioned that when you are giving interviews or before interviews, you should keep your arms wide and your legs separated, and stand with your arms kind of wide and legs separated. If you stand like that, then your confidence level grows automatically. You are open for the interview. So that would be something I can share. Yeah, with your arms wide and legs wide, you just stand there.
Stand like that. But that is if we are giving the talk.
No, if you are in interview, if you go for an interview or something like that.
If I go for an interview.
Or a talk also. Wherever you go for interaction with people, that kind of gain confidence. So it is like you are extrovert. In that sense, when you are doing this, you are becoming introvert. And when you are kind of keeping yourself open, you are becoming
Okay, Bhante, when you're free, maybe you don't mind to share that TED Talk. That
that
would
I'll
be
try and find out.
useful
Because
as well.
it was based on scientific, it was a kind of I think a PhD research or something like that.
Oh, that would be useful. Because nowadays, kids, if we tell them anything and we don't have some sort of scientific proof, they're not going to believe us at all. And they're not going to trust us anymore. And this is our
thing. That could be a good way of kind of sharing.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, and we'll share the merits now. Any other questions are there? I'm still open. Okay, then we'll share the merits. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. So, thank you everybody for coming. And in the evening also we will have at 7, we'll have a group sitting for half an hour and one more talk, because today is Vaishak. So happy Vaishak for everybody. Over here it is a very big festival in Sri Lanka. There will be a lot of dāna on the kind of the streets. They give food and drinks to everybody. Some of them give ice cream. So there is lines I see, and they stop everybody and offer them while they are traveling. So and there is a lot of generosity which is happening around the whole of the country. So it's a big festival, and it's a full moon day also. So everybody, I wish you a very fruitful and kind of spiritual full moon. Okay? Take care.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you.